Welcome back to another episode of Business After Business. We're here at Zuby's Taco Kitchen and Bar on Virginia Avenue in College Park. Joining us today is Nelly from Sugar and Whisk.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Let's get into it.
Okay.
So tell us about Sugar and Whisk.
So Sugar and Whisk by Nelly is basically a home-based bakery.
Okay.
I bake cookies, cakes, confectionates like chocolates,
Okay.
pretty much anything. And we do deliveries and also pickup.
Okay. And so how did you get started with Sugar and Whisk? What was the inspiration behind venturing out and starting a business?
Well, it started with loving to eat, especially sweets. As a kid, I was very much a cookie monster. That was a semi-nickname for my mom for me.
Okay.
But then, I used to be in the kitchen with matriarchs, the elderly, teaching me how to bake, kind of cook too. I say kind of, but cooking as well. Then I got older and I realized, food makes people happy.
Yes.
Baking makes people happy too, giving them baked goods. And so from there, I have a full-time job, but this has become like a passion project.
Yeah.
Of sorts.
Okay, nice. And so what are some of your items, like some of your products that you specialize in? Maybe you don't have a set menu per se, but what are like some of the most popular items?
Okay. So what I will say at first is my menu is very classic.
Okay.
I know in Atlanta, desserts are kind of oversaturated.
Okay, yep.
And so a lot of bakers and people who do baked goods go over the top, which is, no judgment, but, cereal on cookies and biscuit cookies and all of that. I keep it very, very simple. Almost like I almost want to replace, if you go to like Publix or Kroger's, the deli or the bakery section. Yep. Just that's what I am. So my bestseller is espresso chocolate chip, coconut macaroons.
Okay.
And then sugar cookies, for some reason, that's also my best sellers.
Okay.
But then also I'm getting into, again, making chocolates. So chocolates filled with shortbread, dulce de leche, which is like a Mexican caramel. And then cakes, not as much because I'm not a decorator. You feel me? People like extravagant cakes.
Yeah, I got
My cakes are good, but they're very basic. So, but I do cakes as well.
Classic.
Yes.
Like classic.
Exactly. Thank you. Classic.
Okay. All right. And so, how long have you been doing the business?
Still in my first year.
Okay, in your first year, nice. So truly in your startup phase, what has been some of your challenges that you would say, or some of your lessons that you've learned so far in your first year of business?
So again, it's a very saturated market with desserts out here, and overcoming the saturation, kind of building up why me has been probably the biggest challenge. Just because, again, you have to stand out in a market where there's a lot of desserts. But I overcome that, or at least try to, just by going to vending events, farmers markets, and getting my product out that way. Because truly, I haven't gotten too many complaints. I think my biggest complaint was either my oatmeal cookie wasn't too sweet, which is fine with me. I don't want everything too sweet.
It wasn't sweet enough.
It wasn't sweet enough. I was like, or one of my cookies didn't have a crisp. Like she wanted a crispier cookie. And I'm can't help you there either, because my cookies are meant to be soft.
Yeah.
So it's still learning experiences, but just overcoming those niches. But otherwise, the product is good. It's just getting seen and getting more recognition.
Okay. When did you know? Or have you had that moment yet where you received like confirmation? I feel like you probably have, because usually you get that moment and that inspires you to kind of start. But when did you know that you had a good product, or when did you feel like really confident in your product based on like feedback that you received from a customer? Again,
that's when it's not any one moment, it's every moment someone says they like my product. And when it first happened was, again, at a vending, I think it was a farmer's market to be exact, and a lady bought something and she ate it and she just exclaimed about it, and I'm just like, I don't want to seem too shocked, because now it seems like I'm not confident in my product, but at the same time it feels good, and it feels good that they like your product. So anytime there's validation.
Did you ever like test your product first? Like, did you bake for someone first and then people kind of said like, hey, this is really good, maybe you should do this as a business? Did you have that experience?
Half and half. So yes, people try I'll bake for friends and family, like I said before, and they'll love it, but nobody's ever said you should start a business.
Okay.
But I mean, it made the most sense because I'm going to bake regardless, even if I didn't have the business, even if for whatever reason I go under and the business dissolves, I'm still going to be baking. So
Basically,
it
it's
just
something
makes
you would do
sense.
for free. Right. Okay. In terms of people connecting with you or people shopping with you, how can people reach out to you? How can they get in touch with you?
So of course, it's always Instagram. I answer my messages pretty frequently. Email is fine as well. Texting not so much, but I have a Square site, and that's
Okay.
my preferred method because I have a set menu. It's very easy. You go, you pick what you want, you pick up. You could choose between delivery or pickup, and it's
Okay.
really that simple. But obviously, if you're gonna have questions, you want to see my product, Instagram is a way to go.
Okay. And now, do you do like custom orders? If maybe you have someone has like a favorite cookie that maybe their grandmother used to make when they were a child, could they request like a custom order from you, or are you really like conservative and you stick to your menu?
I like to say I'm conservative and I like to stick with my menu. However, I can't. I love a challenge for one.
Okay.
And you want to make your customers happy, which is also part of the reason why I don't like taking custom orders, because people could be a little tricky. However, short answer, yes.
Okay.
We could talk about it for
Okay.
sure.
Okay, cool. You said that you do events, you do like pop-up shops, events like that. What do you like about doing those events versus kind of like sitting back and taking like orders? Or do you have a preference of one? Do you prefer to like sit back and get orders as they come in, or do you like to be like directly in front of the customer at like pop-ups and things like that?
I don't know if I have a preference. I know that I like doing events because I get to meet people face to face, the human connection.
Yep.
I get to network with other people who are vending whatever they're vending. So I do like that aspect of it. But the one thing I do not like about it, and I like the actual to go or pick up or delivery orders, is the freshness. Because at events, you're sitting outside for 3 or 4 hours, and even though it's going to be made either the night before or the day of, it's still something about ordering delivery to you. You know what I'm saying? There's just something about that. So there's benefits and downsides to both.
Gotcha. So what's your turnaround time? Someone places an order. What's the typical time frame for you? Like, say it's a delivery, a local delivery. What's that typical turnaround time for you?
If you order by 3 p.m. that day, you get it the next day between 11 and 3.
Oh, wow. That's pretty fast.
I mean, some people will not probably think so. I think it's pretty fast.
That's pretty fast.
It's pretty fast.
Yeah, that is true. Even like with me, I sell shirts and stuff. There are some times where people will hit me up and it's only like, hey, I need that shirt today.
Right, exactly. It's like, I need a little more time.
You can't call Nike and do that, unless you go into a Nike store, but you're not going to a Nike website or calling them and saying, hey, I want a shirt, I need it today.
Exactly.
So I definitely can relate to that part of it. Have you had a difficult customer before? Or did you have a experience with a customer that maybe wasn't so pleasant, or they were like hard to satisfy? Have you ever had like that experience yet in this first year of business?
Not so much hard to satisfy. The only really negative experience I've had is a customer, kind of ordering and making, I wouldn't say demands, but, giving me her, her order and kind of ghosting. And
oh, wow.
All I could say is I'm glad I didn't start the order, because my policy is for certain orders, you do have to pay a deposit. That was before I had my Square site, by the way, but
Gotcha.
You had to pay a deposit before I started.
Yep.
I didn't start, and sure enough, a week later, I was like, okay, I'm going to start your order. Nothing. And I was like, next day is nothing. So that was the only thing. But generally speaking, my customers have been pleasant, wonderful. Love it.
Nice. Are your customers, do you find that your customers are like people who know you or in your network, or are like brand new strangers? Like, how is that?
So the majority is in my network. The only time they've been outside of my network is again when I go to vending events, and then I've had repeat customers that way too, so that's nice. But usually it's within my network.
Gotcha. So say that I know that you're in your startup stage, but you have this first year of actual business under your belt. Of course, you've been baking way before, but in this first year of doing it as a business, what advice would you give someone who wanted to like do something similar to you, or even just in general starting a new business? What kind of advice would you give them based on your first year of business?
So many things. I'm gonna give you.
Okay, give a couple of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you two main things. One,
Okay.
try to perfect your craft, even though nothing's perfect and you have to always grow, but make sure you perfect your craft before you start. So make sure you have something like a menu in mind, or your best, what you think your best sellers would be, almost like makeshift market research, if you will, just because that helps you define who your customer is going to be, which niche is going to be, who you're going to be.
Yep.
And then the next thing is networking, and that's something I'm still trying to grow, and I'm horrible at networking, I have to admit, but I think a lot of people feel like other people are going to gatekeep, especially if you're in the same realm of what you're selling.
Right.
But strangely enough, no, people are willing to connect with you if you sell the same items, and that's experience. You get to, experience what somebody else already has done just by talking to them. So don't, if they're a competitor, put your ego aside and all that and see if they're willing to connect, because that helps a lot.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of collaboration too. If you look on the street that we on, the 10 different restaurants on the same street, each restaurant still has like a slice of the pie, so to speak. So it just goes to show you that just because we might be competitors on paper, it doesn't mean that we can't collaborate or work together, or iron sharpen iron type of situation.
Yep, exactly. There's enough to go around. There really is.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. So, what do you have coming up, or what are you looking to do in 2026? Like, what are some of your goals for the year coming up?
Since I just rolled out my delivery process, I would like to see that revved up a little bit more. And the chocolates I'm making, I'm starting to really push those out, especially now that it's winter, because tempering chocolate in the summer is very challenging to do. So I'm really making my chocolates right now too. But really it's just to get my delivery orders revved up, because, people often use DoorDash and Uber, but I'm trying to roll that in with the concept of my baking. So those are the two goals. And I'm not really fond of making too many goals. I feel like you need to focus on one or two things and focus on those. So yeah, those are it.
Are you on those sites yet, like on Uber?
I'm not allowed to be, just because there's certain regulations. That's why I offer delivery via Uber Courier. So it's pretty much the same thing, just not on Uber Eats.
I got you. No, I understand. Okay. Again, the brand is Sugar and Whisk.
Sugar and Whisk by Nelly.
And what's the website they can find you at?
The Square site is a little tedious to talk about.
What's
my
the
Instagram is Sugar and Whisk. Sugar and Whisk by Nelly.
Okay.
All one word.
Okay.
Yep.
And I think maybe the last question that I might have for you, in terms of all the cookies or products that you make, what do you feel like is your baby, so to speak, or like your specialty? What is like, if you were going to give someone like a sample of your cookies, or you're trying to highlight one particular product that you feel like you're the best at, nobody can mess with you at that product, what would you say it would be?
That is such an unfair question. Oh, they're all my babies. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to say, and I know I'm going to regret saying this later because there's so many other ones, but I'm going to have to say my oatmeal cookie. And it's because not a lot of people like oatmeal. And if they do, they're very particular about their oatmeal cookies.
Do you put raisins in it?
I mean, I can, but I don't. I'm not a person who likes raisins in their oatmeal, so I don't.
I like raisins in mine.
Oh, you one of those?
Yes.
But it's a cookie that I like to one of my babies, because when I was growing up, my grandfather, every time he walked into his apartment, for whatever reason, it smelled like freshly baked oatmeal cookies. I don't know why. It just always did. And so I always tried to cultivate that memory smell into my cookies. And I love that oatmeal cookie. And I could put walnuts in it, I could put raisins, and I could put chocolate chips in it, but plain, it's just one of my favorite cookies personally.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, make sure you guys support Sugar and Whisk by Nelly. You can get at her on Instagram, and then you can also come check us out. We're at Zuby's Taco Kitchen and Bar twice a month, and you can follow us on Instagram at Biz After Biz, and you can see these full interviews on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, also at Biz After Biz. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.